petroleum.
Is that
some of their oil back?
And what is this going to do to the Gulf in the end?
Well, hopefully it won't create dead zones. The worst case scenario, the thing leaks for months and years and creates dead zones where no life can exist in the Gulf. Already they've partitioned about a third of the federal area. It's off limits to fishing, a third of it.
Wow.
So we're talking about large portions of the Gulf becoming a permanent dead zone unless they can cap this thing this week. And, the relief well in August,
yeah.
we have problems there with the relief well. The relief well, by the way, is the gold standard. That's the gold standard for stopping an oil leak. The problem is it never works in the first try. Never.
Really?
That means a lottery. You're drilling a hole that's like 2 miles long, and you want to hit something the size of a dinner plate.
Shit.
At 2 miles.
Wow.
They're not going to do it.
Well, where does this rank?
Redrill.
Where does this disaster rank on disasters? Is this one of the worst of all times, or?
No. There have been other ones that were actually bigger. However, the economic damage, the property damage, this could rank perhaps number one in terms of the ultimate property damage and lawsuits that it generates. But there have been other oil slicks and oil leaks that were actually bigger, but not in such sensitive areas that are laden with property, with fishing industry.
Yeah, the Gulf is very important to the United States, of course, yes.
Strategically important for the whole country and also, of course, for the whole economy of the South.
Dr. Kaku, our friend Dr. Steve is a big fan of yours, and he wanted me to ask, how long would it take the oil that's in there now, like how long would it take it to dissipate as it is now?
Oh, that's hard to say because we don't even know how much is down there. There's an argument among engineers as to how much oil there is. We've seen plumes of oil 22 miles long. 22 miles long in the Gulf.
Wow.
And so we're kind of clueless as to how much came out. Now, BP uses satellites to calculate how much oil there is. But that only looks at the top. And like I said, the oil's large amounts of it are emulsified, so it doesn't rise to the surface.
All right,
submarines that have gone down have seen these plumes, one plume 22 miles long, and we now realize it could be five times more oil underwater than we see on satellite.
Unbelievable. How do you clean all this up in the end?
Well, like I said, I would have called out the Navy.
Right.
We have basically the National Guard being called out, and we have volunteers that are working themselves to a frazzle. These are like heroic volunteers working 24/7. I say we should declare war on this thing and dump the military and get all sorts of military expertise.
What would they be able to do that's different, though? I mean, aside having the unlimited resources, what would the Navy be able to do different? Dr. Steve just texted me. That's what he wanted me to ask you. What would the Navy be able to do differently?
Okay, here's the key.
It's a big
Everyone
fan, this
misses
Dr.
the
Steve.
key. It's a physics lesson. They've tried 7 things at this oil leak, and they failed because we're not at 200 feet. They all work at 200 feet where pressures are not so great. At 5,000 feet, you have complications. You have methane ice crystals forming. You have high pressure that'll blow things in different directions. You have to compensate for it. That requires scientists who understand working at 5,000 feet. But you see, BP has no operating experience at all, zero. In fact, hardly anyone has any operating experience operating at 5,000 feet, tapping a raging oil well. That's why we have to bring in people who are experienced. So, these procedures, they will actually work. But you have to, the devil is in the details of high pressure. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
So eventually, maybe
the same thing.
Can't they just why can't they just put something around it, like a big bell, and then just put a new pipe on top and filter it up? That's what I've been saying to any woman who will listen loudly.
Well, that's more or less what they're doing now. That the so-called cap is actually a belt. It's actually a dome they're putting on top of the thing. It's not a perfect seal, and they hope to siphon off as much oil as they can by capping the thing, which means putting a dome around the leak and then siphoning it back up. So they're doing that now. Let's hope it works. But again, I'm not optimistic because they've done it before. It's deja vu all over again.
Like a Yogi Bear.
Is it because
Dr. Chip,
the methane freezes at that hour at that altitude? And that's at that depth. That's what the problem was. I said hour and altitude first.
Why do we even have this problem? We have this problem again because they're not experienced at working at 5,000 feet. At that depth, Methane gas that you find in your kitchen is a solid ice. And because it is so cold, this ice will actually go right up the tube, and as it turns into gas, shoot up like a rocket up the tube, up the pipeline, the riser pipeline.
Can't they just have a split? Can't they have a split pipe? They maybe somehow filter at the bottom, maybe gas up one side and liquid up the other.
No, it's all mixed. It's a mix. You see the pictures, right? The bubbles in the picture were methane gas, so it's all mixed. You had the mud, you had the oil, you had the gas. It's all mixed together. So in other words, it was methane gas that caused the problem. It's methane gas that gummed up the cap last month. It's methane gas in solid form that could once again gum this procedure up. You have to compensate for all the high atmospheric effects, and that's what they're slow to do.
But how did they get this shit down there, though?
What?
Like, they got it, there's pipes and shit down there. What did they do? How did they build that thing? If no one knows about 5,000 feet things, how is there a 5,000 foot destroyed structure at the bottom of the fucking Gulf?
Building is not the problem. It's all automated. It's done by robots, done by remote control. It's pretty easy drilling these things. They can drill these things, pretty much anywhere. The problem is you have a leaky fire hydrant, a fire hydrant that blows mud, blows caps back to where you started from. This leaky fire hydrant down there is a non-trivial problem. They thought that what works at 200 feet will work at 5,000 feet.
But the pressure there is so much different. It's like having it's like 2,000 feet per square pounds of pressure per square inch per second.
Yes, that's the problem. That is the problem that people have always neglected, and that's why it's killing them. The details are killing them right now. It's like the Three Stooges running around.
That's what they call us.
Like the Three Stooges. Oh, my God.
Yeah, the Three Stooges running around trying to get the oil fixed and stuff.
So evidently, Doctor, you don't know much about the 5,000 feet situation either. No offense. I'm not trying to be, but you don't know anything about it either.
No. You missed the point.
No. I didn't miss the point.
Yes, you did.
200, 5,000. I'm saying.
No. You missed the point. The point is, we have to remove BP from leadership. Make them consult.
No. We're talking about the issue at hand. We're talking about the impact, not the intent. You talking about cure. We're talking about curing a cold that's in the future. I'm talking about I got a cold right now. The cure for that. Do you know much about 5,000 feet, 2,000 square per inch pressure? Do you personally know how to deal with this kind of stuff? Do you know?
No. What I know is that you have to bring in physicists who understand the mechanics of working at high pressure. This is a physics problem. Mm-hmm. It's not so much an engineering problem anymore. It's a physics problem.
Well, as a physicist, what do you think the solution is?
Like I said, let me read this again. Let me read it again until people understand this.
Wait, just say you don't know.
He's yelling at you.
This is sophistry, sir. You're not saying you don't know. You refuse to go, I don't know. Just say I don't know.
Problem. You have to bring in the top physicists.
I agree.
You're a top physicist.
Analyze what the pressure is like. Otherwise, you run like a headless chicken.
Yep.
That's your question. What do you want to do?
I don't fucking know. I'm just an asshole. You're amazing. I'm saying, your mind is amazing. I'm saying, I'm not indicting you. I'm saying, do you know? Or maybe Hawkins knows or somebody.
Let's be blunt about this. At the present time, nobody knows because we haven't assembled a team of top physicists who will then say this is not an engineering problem anymore. It's a physics problem. We have to work out how to get this thing working at 5,000 feet.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
Then, of the 7 procedures that were tried, all of them working at 200 feet. Every single one will work at 200 feet. We had to figure out the best one, which will work at 5,000 feet. It takes study rather than running around like a chicken saying, woe is me, woe is me, woe is me.
So
the top physicists.
Might not have the answer right now. He's saying they need to put together this think tank and so figure this problem out with physicists because it is a kind of a lot of things, a little bit of fluid dynamics, some pressure, temperature, all kinds of fun things that physicists like to talk about. Yes.
Right. And like I said, nobody knows how to deal with it because they haven't assembled this top panel of people who will then take what works at 200 feet and extrapolate all the conditions that are different at 5,000 feet. That's why all 7 procedures failed. And that's why BP is clueless right now. They're making it up as they go along. This is incredible, making it up as they go along.
All right, well, Thank you, Dr. Kaku. I mean, that's it. Hopefully they'll find some kind of solution for it.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely. When's the big show? Let's get that plug in for everybody again.
Well, Sci-Fi Science is going into second season starting September.
Yep. Very good. We all watch.
The #1 new show on the Science Channel and 12 new episodes.
Oh, good.
Starting in September of this year.
Very excited.
All right. Thanks, Dr. Kaku.
Dr. Kaku, thank you.